Spencer, you wrote an article, 4 key questions heading into the final week of the preseason for the Browns. Number 1, will Jedrick Wills be ready in time for week 1? Number 2, which quarterback is winning the battle for the QB number 3? We talked a little bit about that. Number 3, with injuries at tackle, should Deshaun Watson play Saturday? How long do you expect him to play if he does? Had a sore shoulder that held him back a little bit today. And number 4, is it time to totally revamp NFL preseason? Start with Wills. I said earlier, I think they're surprised that Wills hasn't been practicing. I can't believe that if they thought Wills and Conklin were going to miss all of training camp, that they wouldn't have gone out and gotten somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely a concern at this point. It's a red flag at this point. And, I think it's telling that DeJuan Jones and Jedrick Wills had the exact same injury, surgery around the same time. One of them is out there kind of getting their body into game shape while playing through sort of their rehab or their process of getting back on the field. Because listen, DeJuan Jones doesn't look great. Like, he's had some bad moments, and you can tell sometimes he favors the knee or whatever, and he's just kind of getting his feet back underneath him. But he's at least trying to play through it and get himself ready. Will's not being out there at this point is definitely a concern because, all he had, I don't want to say all he had, it still is, it's a surgery, but he had a knee scope. It's it's not like Chubb where the torn ACL, torn everything. This is different. So, yeah, I think it's concerning, and I have my doubts about whether or not he's going to be ready for week 1, even though there's still 2 weeks to go before the season starts, and that's still a decent amount of time. I don't necessarily think we see him out there.
I'm assuming you think DTR wins I think you said you thought DTR would find a way onto it. So I'm with you that I can certainly understand that. It all comes down to who do you trust more. Or it may be who does somebody give you more for. If you're comfortable with both of them, I think that's what happened with DTR and Josh Dobbs last year. They're like, yeah, we're fine with playing the rookie if we need to, and somebody wanted Josh Dobbs. So if somebody comes and offers you something that you view as a valuable asset for DTR or Tyler Huntley, the other one's probably your third quarterback. If Watson's arm is tired, camp arm, whatever you want to say, and your tackle, I don't know that I said this yesterday and I go back to it even more. I think you go to Deshaun Watson and you ask him, do you need to play to be ready for week 1? And if the answer is no, I'm good, you don't put him out there.
This is such a dilemma for me, Dave, because I've been banging the drum for get Deshaun Watson as many reps as you can, and I still think that's important. Like, every rep counts, especially for him, as he's trying to get himself ramped up for the season. But I also, in recent days, I kind of found myself saying, is I don't know, maybe let's just say 15 reps max is what he gets, maybe like 2 series, maybe a third series. Is that going to be the difference between him hitting the ground running, playing great football like the second half of that Ravens game last year, and him just maybe looking like he did week 1 last year? And I just don't think 15 reps in that setting is going to make that much of a difference. So I guess I put it in Stefanski's court. If he decides he's not ready, or he doesn't want to put him out there and risk it, I get that, because you're trying to get him back from the shoulder injury, and the last thing you need is him to get hurt again. I would like to see it, and I do think from a fan perspective, fans would like to see it, because of anything else, the fans are the ones who are going to look at those reps and be like, try to take anything away from him and be like, well, he looked good, now I feel good about it. He looked bad, now I feel bad about it. More so than I think even the coaching staff will or Deshaun will. I'm just kind of reserved to the fact that I think he and the offense will probably get off to a slow start again this year. And I think those first couple games, it's going to be about the defense kind of keeping them in it and then just finding ways to win. And then hopefully, similar to last year, by like week 3, week 4, Deshaun can kind of hit the ground running and he'll be ready to go. But I don't think 15 reps in the third preseason game changes that.
No, I'm with you. And again, I get it. The Browns fans have not had a lot to watch this preseason. It's been a little rough. Relative to totally revamping the NFL preseason, I think there are teams like the Browns that would, let's just do joint practices. But I do think there are some teams that still value preseason games. It's very interesting. there are two camps on that. But I think once they go to 18 games, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they go to all joint practices and maybe one preseason game.
Yeah, and that was kind of the model I laid out in the piece was maybe you just have one preseason game that's like a dress rehearsal for everybody, right? Like the team to kind of get used to going to the stadium on a Sunday and, stadium staff and whatever, and everyone kind of gets like one little go around of figuring it all out. And then the rest of training camp, you just focus on the joint practices. And for me, that all just stems from, I asked Kevin Stefanski, I asked Deshaun Watson, I asked other players just about, do you feel you get the same amount or more out of joint practices as you do in a preseason game? And the consensus was yes. So if the players are telling you this, if the coaches are telling you this, I have to believe there's some truth to the joint practices being just as valuable. And maybe you stream one of those games on TV to make up the ad revenue that you lose from the preseason games. I don't know how that would all work, but they'd figure it out because of the NFL, and they always do. But yeah, I just think what we've seen, as you mentioned, Dave, like Browns fans have had to watch some real duds of games these last 2 weeks. And I just don't necessarily see the point in doing this year after year when the teams are kind of telling you like, yeah, we don't even care about these games. We just want to get people to this regular season healthy.
Well, even more importantly, you keep getting guys hurt. You have more guys hurt in the preseason games than the joint practices. So yeah, I'm with you.